Low lunge is a really nice pose for opening up the hips. So we can bring the ground closer with blocks, which I'm going to use for this demonstration. And you can always come into this from downward facing dog, even from standing, high lunge. I'm going to show you from hands and knees, okay? So my hands are right under my shoulders, about shoulder width apart, and my knees are right below my hips. I'm stepping my right foot forward up in between the hands, and I'm going to show you an active and a passive low lunge. Both are great for different purposes, all right? I'm going to step that back foot way back, tucking the toes under, and bringing the back knee off the ground. It's important to open up the chest here, looking slightly forward and gathering the core in so we don't find this deep back bend. There's nothing wrong with the back bend, but if you're gonna do it intentionally and do it carefully, okay? So hands are planted down, collarbones are broad, opening up in the chest, and my back leg is really active, engaging and lifting up the kneecap. Now, my front knee is right over my ankle, right, at about 90 degrees, and my back heel doesn't have to be over the toes, but you might notice that it's harder if you put it over the toes. Right now, my heel is extending back behind my toes. I'm gonna scoop my toes back to try and get kind of 90 degrees in that ankle, and wow, I feel that, okay? So you've got some options there. You can lower the knee down to make this more of a passive stretch. Stay on the blocks if you want, or hands, of course, can be on the mat here if that feels good to you. But wherever you are, remember, shoulders roll back and down the spine, open up the chest, and start to sink that hip down a little closer to the mat. Now let me move my blocks just so I can show you something here, all right? You can always come up onto the knee for low lunge, pressing down into that, letting the hips sink lower, but notice the knee for a second here. You'll hear sometimes in a class say, a teacher say, make sure the knee stays right over the ankle, as if like it's some cardinal sin to push your knee past the ankle. It's not gonna hurt your body, it shouldn't hurt your body to send the knee past the ankle. Because you do this, you make this motion every time you go up and down stairs. But depending on what you're doing, depending on where you're trying to find the stretch, maybe you're strengthening something, maybe there is a purpose to leaving the knee over the ankle. Just don't stress it. Do everything you do with intention, okay? The one thing you do want to avoid is the knee going out to the side. Because as you lower the hips, you might notice your knee wants to go out. Again, not going to hurt you, but this is getting into a different pose. That's more of a lizard pose, right? So for low lunge, keep the knee still in the midline. Hands can be on the mat or on blocks, and sink those hips down. Maybe untuck the toes and breathe into that. You also have the option here to find a bit of a back bend if you want, but control it, right? Use the core, scoop the navel up and in, and maybe sweep the arms all the way up and back, maybe looking up to challenge your balance here. Wherever you are, make sure that it feels good. That's always the purpose here, right? Enjoy your low lunge.